On a foggy morning in central London, two unlikely figures met in the shadowy corner of a shabby pub. Two of England's most notorious criminals had set their sights on the same prize and were now set to negotiate for its pursuit.
Mrs. Adler, it seems to me that our mutual interest might be better served as an opportunity to form a partnership, rather than an excuse to partake in competition.
You have read my mind, Professor Moriarty. Given the stakes we are up against, I believe that together we can succeed, where alone Holmes may once again humiliate us.
I gather from the look in your eye that you have already conceived of a plan.
Indeed, I have. And here arrives the first player.
In the months since Holmes had cracked the case of the topless table, the master detective had become quite the connoisseur of games himself. Presently, the two of us were enjoying a rousing bout of dice over a bottle of brandy when there came a knock at the door of 221B Baker Street. It was Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard.
Holmes, I've got a beast of a case, and I'm afraid to say I need your help. This morning I received a visit from Lord Berkton, owner of the Game Toppers Enterprise. You'll recall you, only recently solved a case there. Lord Berkton informed me there had been another theft, only this time he is not entirely sure what has been taken. If you would follow me to the scene of the crime, and perhaps there it will make more sense.
Holmes and I accompanied Lestrade by coach through the crowded London streets, eventually arriving at a factory of bright red brick and unbroken window panes near the bank of the Thames. Above the wagon-sized entrance doors was the familiar top-hat insignia of the Game Toppers Company. Lestrade brought us into the expansive factory floor, which was, surprisingly, nearly empty. There, a man in a rough suit and smudges on his face waited expectantly.
Just a burglary, Lestrade? The place has been ransacked.
Detective, let me explain. My name is J.J. Berkton, foreman of the factory. I oversee day-to-day operations here, while my father, Lord Berkton, handles the business operations. The empty warehouse before you is a sign of our success. Our first production run is completely sold out. Indeed, our portable Game Toppers are taking the world by storm. We've been preparing the factory to ramp up production again, but alas, our plans are arrested and prospects uncertain now that Mr. Lafleur has gone missing.
Ronald Lafleur, Berkton explained, was a local artist and designer that the Game Toppers Company had contracted to develop new Game Toppers models and a new line of accessories and game mats that were backwards compatible with their existing lineup. Lafleur and Lord Berkton had an appointment 2 nights previous, during which Lafleur was to turn over prototypes and plans for a number of Game Toppers products, but Lafleur never arrived.
And when had you last seen Ronald Lafleur, Mr. Berkton?
I never saw him myself, sir, but he and Lord Berkton had met not a week past for lunch.
Holmes had one last question for Foreman Berkton, asking him if he had any plans or drawings from Lafleur's previous contributions he might share. Berkton was positive there was something he could obtain from his father, and that he would send them around to Scotland Yard presently. I then followed Holmes outside, where he knelt in the mud of the street and plucked an invisible something from the muck.
Watson, do you recall that group of ruffians we passed not a block hence?
That scruffy lot selling newspapers? I barely gave them heed.
You should have paid closer attention, Doctor. I suspect they certainly have.
Follow the clues for an opportunity to win a complete Game Topper system. Care to investigate further? Subscribe here to be alerted when the path to the next clue reveals itself.